Hello everybody, Pike Gamer here with yet another episode of Pike's Horrors. This is our second story and the writer and the story will be named and linked in the description down below so you can go check them out and see do you like them and their writing. I think I might be alone. I'm all alone right now. I do not mean it's just me in the apartment. I mean there is no one else in the world. I do not know what happened, but 3 days ago I found the sky has gone completely black and there was no one else alive, except for the good old internet and the news and the phone calls I've sent to my parents and coworkers. Let me start on Sunday at 10 p.m. So as a part of onboarding at this new company, I have to do a week or two of each of their production tours. I've already done my tour 3, which is a really early morning, and tour 2 is the default day shift. Tour 1 is dinner to early morning, which is why I'm getting up so early on a Sunday. Something about the official start of the next day being 10 p.m. yesterday or something. I got up at 9 p.m. and the first thing I noticed was just how dark it was outside. Like darker than if it was just late at night. I didn't really think too much about it at the time because I was still tired from trying to adjust to the night shift. I got ready for the day like normal and started my drive to work. I noticed that there wasn't much traffic on the highway as I drove to work, which again I didn't really think anything of because it was late at night and I was still a little out of it. I didn't even realize anything was really wrong when I got to work. I didn't expect there to be anyone in the office section of the warehouse where I work. I'm the operational and industrial engineer, so I'm admin. I go to my workstation, put it up, check my emails, and begin procrastinating away the next few hours of being the only one in the office. I was around midnight that I looked through to walk to the warehouse floor and see just how Tour 1 actually looked like. The thing is, there was no one there. This was weird because I'd been told we'd run pretty much 24/7, even on holidays. I walked the whole floor and found evidence of activity, like a pallet jack abandoned in the middle of an aisle, and a few carts ready to be moved onto trucks. But no people. After something like half an hour of trying to figure out where everyone was, I decided that maybe they lied to me about the holiday part and this Monday was actually one of those random ones that we forgot to exist. I left and head home, quietly thankful for an extra day to try and acclimatize to night shifts. I was a bit more awake driving home, so noticed the complete absence of traffic so late at night. I kind of expected there to be someone out at this time, but again, it was late, and I rationalized this by it was a holiday. So, of course, no one would be out. It was sheer blackness that got to me, though. It was dark, the only illumination coming from my headlights and the street lamps. I couldn't see the moon or any stars, just as black as the black sky. I guess it was just cloudy and I put it out of my mind. When I got home, I immediately went online because I have no life and found absolutely nothing out of the ordinary. I was getting emails like normal, people had been posting videos on social media like normal. I even found a few YouTube videos that were posted an hour ago and stuff like that. Things were looking normal online. And then it gets to be 8 in the morning. And I look outside. It's still black as black outside. It spooked me at first, but then I remembered it was just cloudy. Just to be sure, I checked the weather online. The weather said it was clear skies until Friday. I had to stare at that for a bit. Eventually, I decided that the weather's autolocate was broken and it thought it was the next city or something. There was no way you could miss clouds like that. It did kind of creep me out how it was consistently dark outside. But it wasn't until the next day that I started to get suspicious. So, 9 at night. It's pitch black out. Get ready, drive to work. As I stand in the parking lot, I realized suddenly it's warm. I get that the nights can be warm sometimes, but this warm was just... It didn't feel right to me. I shrugged it off as some sort of weather effect. I go into work, check emails, everything looks normal. Except for the fact that I see emails that suggest that everyone came into work yesterday. I was confused to say the least. And then I went out to walk the floor. It was just like last night. Exactly like last night. Stuff was still on the dock waiting to be shipped. A pallet jack was in the middle of an aisle. I walked to the floor and an hour of trying to rationalize it until I just decided that somehow the fact that it was still officially Monday meant that it was still a holiday. Even if the schedule was weird, my mind ignored the emails telling me that today was not a holiday and assumed that everything would be normal tomorrow. It was still pitch black out and there were still no cars on the road. But there were new videos in YouTube. There were new emails in my inbox. There were new posts on Reddit and Twitter. Hell, there was a full war on Twitch that clearly had been recorded yesterday. But it was still dark when the sun should have been up. My parents live only an hour away. So if there was a severe weather, then my mom would have called me about it, right? I mean, she would have seen it when she drives to work. So I called my parents and asked them about the weather. My parents, of course, said everything was just fine, and got really confused when I mentioned the darkness. They rationalized it as just a storm front that have been dealing with later this week, and I just agreed with them because it makes sense. It was just the storm front sitting over the city. It was just a holiday. No one drives this late at night. Everything was fine. Everything was normal. And then I went back to work. Now, at this point, pellet jack and all of that. It suddenly dawned on me that maybe we don't have a night shift. This was just a hazing thing done to the new guy. They say, go do the night shift for a week, and then laugh as you walk across an empty floor. It makes perfect sense. And the whole thing making the floor look the same, clearly someone is pushing it a little. I would just go home for the rest of the week. Screw them. If they wanted to effectively give me a week off, then I was going to take it off. It would be a funny story, and I'd come on Monday and normal time, and we'd laugh. There was no one on the road when I went home. It wasn't until dinner, for my off-schedule ass, that I realized how wrong things were. I'd run out of food and decided to go to a Hy-Vee, for the only just down the road was open from 6 in the morning to 11 at night. And it was almost 7 for me. They'd be open. So I got out, get in my car, and still it was dark. Still off-putting, but I didn't really care at this point. I noticed just how empty the streets were though. My normal shift had me heading at work at this time, and there'd be a bit of traffic, but there was nothing. No one was even in the Hy-Vee parking lot. No one was there at the store. Just my car out there and me inside, walking down rows of mildly overpriced food items alone. It was weird, and I started to get feeling watched when I walked by the windows. I pretty much overloaded my cart with stuff and ran to checkout. Of course, no one was manning anything, but there was the self-checkout. I actually went through and paid for everything. I had in my cart before heading out to the door. When I got outside, the darkness was thicker, warmer somehow. There was obviously no one out there, but I don't know. I shoved everything into my car and drove off, mostly respecting the speed limits. I was weirded out. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know. I just didn't know. Thankfully, there was a garage at my apartment, so I could take my groceries in without feeling watched. But everything looked fine online. I had an idea though. I would call my mom. My mom would drive up after work. She'd buzz at me in front of my gate. She'd come to my apartment door and knock. She'd prove I wasn't crazy. She'd prove that I was just foggy, and there were clouds, and that somehow. I just happened to miss everyone at the grocery store. So I called my mom. She could tell from the way I was acting that somehow someone was really wrong, and that she would be driving up immediately. The hour and a half that it took for her to get here was the longest one of my life. Although all throughout it I would peer outside and feel wrong, alone, watched. And then I get a buzz on my phone. Apartment front door. I let my mom into the building and wait, and wait, and wait, and wait more. And then she calls me. My mom was in my apartment, but I couldn't see her. She said that she was knocking and knocking, and eventually tried the handle. I guess it happened that my door was unlocked, except for the fact that my door was locked. She was looking around. My computer was on. Apparently my lights were on, but I wasn't there. My first reaction is that she clearly must have gone into the wrong apartment. I didn't hear knocking because the walls were built right. We both laugh and go outside to make sure we see one another. She says that I'm not in the hall. I say that's impossible. I FaceTime her and show her the hall that I'm clearly in. She FaceTimes me and shows me the hall. I'm in a knot. I don't get it. I walk my mom through my apartment with FaceTime and we find out that somehow I haven't been there for 3 days. My fridge is like it was from Saturday. My computer is on and has Reddit open. I make sure she's in my room and I open YouTube video. But she says that she doesn't see anything. She believes me when I say I'm scared. She believes me when I open the blinds and show her the darkness outside. She asks me, what is that thing in the fog? What thing in the fog? There is something out there. There is something in the darkness, and it's watching me. My mom says that she'll stay on the line and keep me company while I barricade my apartment. Eventually, through she needs to leave, I promise her to text every hour that I'm okay. I actually just texted her right now. Funny that. That stingy out there. And somehow it feels like the darkness is pushing in slightly through the windows. I don't know what to do. I'm debating sleeping in the bedroom just to have an extra door between me and it. I'll update you if anything else happens. Update. Something is in my apartment. I can hear it outside my bedroom door. There isn't a lock on it since there is just one bedroom. I've just got a chair propped up against it, keeping it shut. Update. It started knocking. Update. It stopped knocking. Update. It realized I have a window. Update. I'm here. And okay guys, that has been it for the second story on my channel. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you will leave a like and a comment. Comment your favorite part and I will try to respond as many comments as I can. So I hope you liked it. Goodbye people, have a nice day.